Thanks a lot. Welcome to the lunch talk about OpenDolphin. And we will just have everybody coming in, chewing and running, no problem, just chime in. I'm happy to talk about one of the latest achievements that we have done at GNU. And it is, this is really incorporating in a very small piece of code software engineering experience from 10 people over 15 years or so. That's quite something, like 150 person years of development experience in almost 1,000 lines of code. So that's very compact. Let's see what this is all about. If I turn it on, it works, right? Good. Some people call it Enterprise 2.0, and it is about enterprise applications. Dolphin is for enterprise applications, but with a really cool visualization. Just recently I've been to a conference where the speaker said, well, how do you identify an enterprise application? And it's defined by the UI sucks. No longer. And I'll give you an example of an enterprise application, an application running on the server with this UI. Now, and this is a video from an application that we have jointly done with our customer Navis, who is the world market leader in container terminal software, and Oracle. And this is showing you the container yard of Antwerp. All the containers, there are container yards, and containers are stacked in places in the yard. And then there's a 2D view and a 3D view, right? We just came from 2D to 3D. And the application, even though it shows you all the data, it started as a monitoring tool and then later went into a planning tool for the yard. Not only the data comes from the server, the application itself is running on the server. Even though you get the full benefit of here JavaFX 3D on the client. But the point is that it's very easy and friendly to have these boxes in 3D. It's very easy shape to have, but then there's also very complex shapes like these cranes and the rubber tube gantries, it's called, moving around, picking up containers, following a path in JavaFX. And the main point to take away here is you can have a very rich visualization on client side, and this is view only. It's only the view, whereas the logic of your application that is incorporated in your controllers are totally separate. They can even run in a separate VM. They are compiled separately. They can even run on a remote machine, your web application server, with all the benefits that you get from an enterprise application. And then, actually, we started with these applications with JavaFX only making the 2D view, and it took us half a year or so with a few people creating all the application. Lots of that was already done on the server. It was available since it was a server application. But then, having the very same application built with OpenDolphin, and then making the 3D view of it was only a matter of 2 weeks. And that was actually engineering work done by Oracle, and they have engineers that formerly work, UI engineers as I call it, that have formerly worked as Pixar and Disney, and so they know their work, right? They know what to do. But the application as such did not change at all. The application was not touched by a single line. It's only the visualization that changed. And that's what Dolphin is about. Getting the maximum in visualization with, but keeping the server part stable. Protecting all your investment in the server part. So for the next 25 minutes, I'll say OpenDolphin, what it is, in engineering terms, why we care and why you may want to care, and of course how it works. So OpenDolphin is a library. It's a very small library. It's not a framework. We do not lock you in. And it is a generic library, so you can use it with any kind of technology on the client side and on the server side, as long as it is Java-based. What we do is we have a new way of communicating between a view and its controllers. In the sense, you may say, well, there is already this model view controller, but today everybody uses this term, and it has come to it has been watered down that nobody really knows what you say when you say MVC anymore. Particularly whether views know each other, whether controllers directly know views or not, and we say no, not at all. Every view is totally separate. Views do not know their controllers. Controllers do not know any views. Each of them only know presentation models. And they communicate in an asynchronous fashion. Always, 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 always. There is no synchronous call whatsoever between views and controllers in either direction. And the mean by which they communicate is a presentation model, which is available and synchronized on the client and on the server side automatically. So that's it. It's a library. So here's the main architectural overview, the architectural sketch. There's views and controllers, and they bind to a model, and they read from a model and write to a model. And these models are automatically synchronized. Shared presentation model. The responsibility of the server is to say what should be visualized. And the responsibility of the client is how it should be visualized. And that's a very clear distinction. Even when first creating your application, it has, our customers say, it's so helpful to know where to put each code. Right? The only question is it about what to display, or is it about how to display? And then it went in one of these both buckets. It is very small. It is very small in code size. The whole code size of OpenDolphin is now the production code 1,057 lines of code. That's as much as the JavaFX example was in the latest talk, right? For the vanishing circles demo. It used to be 1,024 lines of code for a long time because it was so resistant to add another line after that. So. It is also small in runtime. It runs on a Raspberry Pi. This is something that we have created in the infamous Canoe Code Camp, where we go offsite into the Alps and hacking for 3 days and nights. And there's a Raspberry Pi running OpenDolphin, and what it displays with JavaFX and the OpenDolphin client is all the meeting rooms at Canoe and what is currently booked as a meeting. This now hangs on our floor. And each time you go by, you know where each meeting happens and where you have to go to, and whether there will be space available in the meeting room for the next few hours or not. So that's very helpful, and we have that running. So that's what it is in general. Why do we care? I mean, in the end, you can think about engineering, cleanliness, and so on, but in the end, what happens is, what decides is whether you're quicker maybe than the competition, or better, or maybe you spend less money. And we say, yeah, you can really save money, and I'll expand on this a little. From the money that we spend, still, how much of this is costs, and it's gone, and how much is investment, and you create something that lasts over time. Our point is we can protect the investment, and I'll also expand on that a little. And you can outperform the competition. Who has written a JavaFX 3D thing so far? Huh? Not so many in the market space, at least publicly visible. Our client, Nevis, is outperforming the competition with these features. So save money, how's that going? Well, if you implement cleanly, if you have less bugs, if it's cleaner where things go, you're quicker. Also, why do we have less bugs? Because we have a very clear way of how you organize your code, and it's very easy with either String or JavaFX or any other technology in that space to have nasty multi-threading bugs. And with OpenDolphin, it's almost impossible to get these kind of bugs, because you're not blocking the UI. We control it for you. Well, you don't need to control whether you have something that's long running and it may not block the UI, and something that must be in the UI thread because of visibility issues and so. You cannot do it wrong anymore. It's very easy to extend, very easy to change. It's very separate where when you change a view or when you change the logic, when you do it, and you do not impact all the others. Makes less maintenance costs. And it's very easy to test, as we will see, because you can test against the presentation models. And one of our customers is saying, you can do UI testing without UI, because you're testing what will be displayed and not how. So this is really from the currently biggest customer. He said, we are so much more productive even than starting with an application. We will apply this everywhere. Protection of investment. So there's clean separation between the view and the controller. Controller resides on the server, or at least in different space. Even if you run it in memory, it has its own space. And therefore, it is very much decoupled from your UI toolkit, whether you use Swing or JavaFX or anything other. This is only the view. If you ever have to change it, if you want to migrate from, let's say, Swing to JavaFX, first separate the view and keep your logic clean. UI toolkits come and go, especially the versioning of those. But business logic lives on. And this is not touched at all if you change the view. That means if you have to migrate to a new version or to some of the toolkit, you do this at the lowest possible costs. That's protection of your investment. Well, outperforming the competition means, well, you would like to show something that others cannot show. You would like to have features that are, for others, are just too expensive to develop. We'll see some how instant updates in an application work. You have multi-user awareness in your application, going multi-channel, having multiple channels being fed at the same time from the same server, using 3D capabilities, include local devices, barcode readers, any other sensors. Supporting really good undo-redo in an application, in a visual application, is not so easy. Who has ever done a real not only resetting a value in a field, but a true undo redo, including all selections and stuff in a visual application? So far, I don't. But JetBrains is doing it, of course. Well, they know how to do it, even though you didn't show up. Yeah. But it's really not so many. That's one of the features where you can really differentiate yourself from the competition. And of course, you need to include easy ways of validation and transferring the least amount of data between client and server. That's important, and there's where lazy loading comes in. Whenever data is requested, it can be Dolphin can give it to you, either from a cache or from asking the server lazily. So one of the typical examples in enterprise applications is master detail views. Master detail views come in all different kinds of flavors, like from a table and a form, or from navigational overview and the page that you navigate to. Even the tabbed pane is a master detail view, right? So we have so many tabs, which is the master, but you only see one detail. Master, and the tabbed pane is a master detail. It comes in all flavors, and here we have a small one, which is one of the many demos that come with the distribution of OpenDolphin, which, by the way, is open source, of course, as the name implies. Apache 2 license. It's on GitHub. You can go to open-dolphin.org and see all the details. So here we have one master view, which is a table and has a selection. And here's the master view of the same data, only visualized in a different way, like, you'll say, a mapping thing. And then there's a detail view on top here. So whenever I click here, this selection will be set, and the details will be available. If I click one of these, it will trigger the other selection over here. If I change the value, all the values will be immediately updated, and also it will have an effect on the positioning of that, as we say, vehicle. That's one of the many things. And the important thing to know, to mention, is all the views, all three views, this view and this view and this view are totally separate. They don't know anything about each other. It's not that this selection here needs to update this one. It will not. Even if you remove this one, this code over here will not change at all. You can put it in or out. We do not change, right? The only thing that this view knows, there is presentation models for all these, and it binds against it. He knows there's presentation models, they happen to be the same ones, that he binds against. And here is one special selected one that he binds against in a stable fashion. He binds against, we've seen the binding in the talk before, he binds against the presentation model, but never changes the binding. There is no unbind and rebind when you change the selection, which is very important because this unbind rebind thing can get you crazy, right? Therefore I said like 10 years of development experience in that. That's one of the typical examples. How does it work? The communication between client and server is always through the command pattern. We always send commands. Update the value, change the value, create a presentation model, delete one. And all these commands are sent asynchronously behind the scenes without blocking the user interface. We never block the user interface, which is something that with other approaches sometimes happens. But even though it is asynchronously, it's always in strict sequence. It's guaranteed that all the events come in the exact order from the client, how they originated, to the server. They will be executed in the exact order. Whatever comes back from the server, which is also commands, are also come in the exact same order that they were issued, and they will be executed on the client side, handled in the client side in the exact same order. That's guaranteed. On top of that, we have our modeling is such that we use we have a generic model. So you don't have presentation models in terms of a book presentation model and a vehicle presentation model and an in-person presentation model. No, there's only one class presentation model, and it has attributes. So that gives us the opportunity to exactly know what's in there and to handle it for you. Otherwise, it gets difficult if you use this subclassing approach. So. And we have a managed environment. We know all presentation models there are. We know them all. It's like in a database. It's like in a memory database. We know them all. We can ask, please give me the one with the following characteristics. Well, it's like querying a database. We know them all. It's important. So what's the typical workflow? Is here we have the view side and the controller side. And everything below this line, below is what we do, and above the waterline is what you as a programmer do. So you have, let's say, the use case is a login. So you have to somehow on the server side say what should happen on login. Assuming that I have a username and a password, how do I find out that the user is there's login granted for him? Well, that's logic that you put on the server. Could be Grails, could be any other Java enterprise server. That's your logic. Now on the client side, what we originate is one from the generic presentation model. It's the special one that we call by name the current user. It has 3 attributes, name, password, and the logged in property, Boolean property. As soon as this originated on the client side, it gets automatically transferred asynchronously to the server, and the server knows about it. Then you set up your UI, like a form, let's say, and then you bind the UI against the attributes of the presentation model. It's normal binding as we have seen before, and I'll show a little bit of code for that. Now, the binding has the effect that when we enter a name, it gets automatically added here, and OpenDolphin automatically puts it over to the server asynchronously. UI is not blocked. The user doesn't even recognize that something happens in his back, behind his back. So same for password. goes over. Now we click on the login button, and that means this information goes over and the login action is dispatched. That's, the dispatching is part of Dolphin. Now what the action does is, from the server Dolphin, the name and the password. Because it knows that name, it can ask for this. With this information, it asks maybe a database, whatever, and it sets the logged in property right to it. Say, please put this to true. And whenever this happens, automatically this is transferred to the client. And since this is bound against, let's say, the visibility property of this dialog, it automatically disappears. Right? No code whatsoever to be written on the client side beside the binding. That's the server models the state. The server says he is now logged in, and how that is visualized, how the state is visualized, and how state transitions are visualized is an obligation of the client, right, of client view. Now, how I adapted this code for the Groovy audience, I usually show the Java version of it, which is not so different. So creating a presentation model, we do have on the client view, we have the client Dolphin. It has a factory method presentation model. We give it the ID, and we may want to give it a type, but that's optional. And we say that we have these attributes, client attributes, name, password, logged in. How do we bind to the view? Well, in Groovy, we can enjoy command chain syntax for that. Let's say we're binding the name attribute of the user that we've fetched before to the text property of that text field. That's all we say. I need the dot here for because I break over the line here. Normally, I would do this in one line without this dot. You have this command chain syntax. We can bind against many different things. For example, if the client attribute knows the base value that it was created with and the current value, so we can derive a dirty property from this. We can bind the dirty information of the user, or even of the whole presentation model. If any attribute is dirty, then the presentation model is dirty. You can bind the dirty information of the user to the enable state of the login button. Right? So whenever it gets dirty, you can only log in. The button only enables itself when there's some dirty information, because otherwise it makes no sense logging in. That's all you do. That's all it takes to get this running. We can even do something like the visibility of the dialog. Say bind the visible property of the login view to the logged in property of the user. And we can give the conversion closer. It should be the other, should be toggled, right? So that's the way of how you can bind views. And the views are usually the demo views that come with OpenDolphin are all written in GroovyFX. How do you send a command? Client Dolphin, send, login. That's what you do. That's it. And there's no parameters. There's no parameters to any command. Because the server knows everything already. He's in total knowledge of your state of the UI, right? Because he got all the information before asynchronously. You don't have to send who you're going to log in, because he knows. It's a cool security feature, right? Makes it very difficult to do any man-in-the-middle attacks without that context knowledge. So, what's the server doing? He reads from the server Dolphin. There's a getAdd function, getAdd method, please give me current user. And then how do I get hold onto the name? I ask the user for the name. There's a missing method here, right? So, and or missing property, and ask for the value. So that's how you get it. That's the Groovy version of it. And how do I change the value of the logged-in property? I ask the user for the logged-in property and I say change value to true. and it will create a command and put it in the response and send it to the client, and then the client will do whatever needs to be done. There's not much time for many demos, but I'd like to show you one, at least. By the way, most of the demos also are also available with over the website, opendolphin.org, open-dolphin.org, and then there is pointed to my video channel on YouTube, and most of them are screencasts, and you can have that, for example. Custom font, and here's a list of, that's a master detail view, that's portfolios. We are working for the financial industry. Let's go to the balanced one, which is in the back. You see this client-server communication, and when the data has been loaded, we do a small JavaFX animation to present it, such that it materializes in front of you. Now, instant updates. I change this value, and it must update this value, and it must update this value, right? So this instrument, this position is now called GradeConf, right? Oh, I did an error. GradeConf, right? It immediately updates this, and this, and this. And all the three views do not know anything about each other. Important. I change the value over here from 20 to 200. Woof. All views do not know anything about each other. The total has been updated. The total has been updated here. But how you summarize the total, how you get to the total, is on the server side, and it's business logic. The client required that there's specialized business logic how to sum up the positions, because it may be he has some special rules how to do it. So this is really on the server side, and even though it appears as if to the user it appears as if there would be no communication. I'll click on the plus and make a new entry here. 290, 290, and this over here. It is so quick because it's immediately applied locally and the server is notified asynchronously. That's the trick. And even if, and now it comes, you can say, well, my portfolio is fixed. I'm done, right? There should be no more change. What do you need to do? Suppress changes. So I say it's fixed. I click on this one, and these views disable themselves. And this over here says true because it binds against the fixed attribute of that presentation model. And this binds against the fixed attribute of the presentation model. And this view binds against its enabled state against that attribute. Before that, what you needed to do was, I need to know whom to update and whom to disable and so on. Gets you into a maintenance nightmare. So this makes it very clear how to organize your views, how to organize your controllers, how to get instant updates. Stable bindings. That's a small one. I'd like to show you a second one, even though I'm a little over time. And that is, once you're on the server, you can do things that you could not have, that were impossible before, like multi-user awareness. Same data being automatically synchronized between clients, or awareness that I shouldn't touch this part of the application because somebody else is working over there, right? With a standalone application, you cannot. It's very difficult. It's really easy to do with OpenDolphin, especially if you run your application on a Grails server and have it visualized with GroovyFX. So here we have I have a running Grails server here. That's where the application lives. And I'd like to show you one client that just maintains a single value. It could be the speed of a train or so, right? So you're in the you're riding a train and you can change the value. And I'm opening the second one of this, second user, to the exact same code. Have I started it? F10. Yep, now it's going. And They do exchange information on the server side using an event bus with data flow queues and an agent behind it. That's only for the next. That's the plug for the next thing that Václav will show you. So we have two things here. They're totally separate. They could be in different machines. They could be in different parts on the planet, right? They're both going to the same server. Now I'm changing the speed. Huh? Changing this speed. That's multi-user awareness. And I'm going to finish. And then people ask, how do you do this? Is that WebSockets or Comedy or server-side events or any of those protocols? And I say, no, you wouldn't believe plain old HTTP post requests that go through every firewall on this planet, that you can use everywhere. Plain old HTTP post. That's the cool stuff about it. So, just to finish up the presentation, instant updates. It's very easy to have two different views going to the same server, displaying the same information, one in Swing, one in JavaFX. And it's very good for migrating as well. You can even have it running. You can see the demos on my YouTube channel for even having a JavaFX view and a web view of the same information being updated in real time. You can have applications where, like, two different applications in two browsers and a mobile one. And when you change any character here, it's immediately updated in the application, across applications, and on your mobile. So when should you use it? When you think clean is better. And if you would like to prepare for the future in terms of, if you believe that you can predict the future and who's going to win in terms of UI toolkits and UI technologies, then go for that one, right? And bind yourself to that one. But if you think that the future is very uncertain in terms of which UI technology is going to win, then you better decouple yourself from it. Here's all the information. Open-Dolphin.org gives you all the possible links. There's the Twitter account. It's all on GitHub. There's Jumpstart projects for it to get you up and running. All the artifacts are available from Raven Central. Canoe is happy to provide training and consulting or help you with migration or just any questions, you can come to us. Thanks a lot and enjoy the rest of the conference.